The Bachelorette is almost here, and we are running down everything you need to know before the June 7th premiere.
I knew you were pretty, but you were like pretty.
Let the journey begin.
Bring on the men!
Plus, Jason Tartick reveals why fans should be excited about Kaitlyn, Bristowe, and Tayshia Adams taking over hosting duties.
I think they balance each other so well. They're both, you walk into a room with those two, even if it's just like a lunchroom behind the scenes, and the energy is just electric.
Plus, Blake Moynes makes his Bachelorette return. We take a look back at what he had to say after getting his heart broken, not once, but twice on last season of The Bachelorette.
You know, I've moved past it now. I think she's happy where she's at, and you know, things play out the way they should, and I'll believe in that.
We've got that plus so much more in today's Here for the Right Reasons. Hey guys, Christina Garibaldi here with Associate Editor Sarah Heron. Welcome to Here for the Right Reasons. Hi Sarah, how are you?
Hello, Christina. Couple days away. The countdown is so finally real. It's almost June 7th. The Bachelorette is almost back.
It's almost back, and we are going to give you everything that you need to know about the upcoming season. But first, here is the latest sneak peek.
I knew you were pretty, but you were like pretty.
Let the journey begin.
Bring on the men! Is this a dream? I don't know. Oh my god. It's Blake.
I didn't come here for the bromance. I came here for followers.
I'm like shaking right now.
I think it's about time she's learned the truth.
This is just insane.
I'm done. Someone booked my flight home.
Okay, I know I've said it before that I wasn't excited, but now I'm getting excited.
I agree. I thought the sneak peek had a lot. We had a lot of kissing.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of kissing. We had a lot of, Katie like threatening to leave with the whole get me my plane. I'm like, I like that.
I do like that.
I like that. I don't think she leaves, but I like that there's a tease and she has like a meltdown. Not that, you wish that on anyone, but I kind of do on my lead. And I saw on Twitter a lot of people were accusing them of the classic Frankenbiting of the person who was like, I'm not here for the right reasons. I'm here for followers. They probably said they aren't here for followers and changed it. But either way, I feel like it all the classic makings of a good Bachelorette promo and season.
It follows the formula. We got our drama, we got our kissing, we have our leads threatening to leave. I think it has a little bit of everything. I think she's going to be a good Bachelorette. Like we've seen, she holds her own. She's not afraid to speak her mind. And that's exactly what she did on The Bachelor. So here's a look back as to why she is going to be the perfect Bachelorette.
And this just really got me through a lot, and I was hoping to pass the torch to you.
Katie got the attention of Bachelor Nation when she showed up to meet Matt with a sparkly dildo in tow. She told the Bachelor Happy Hour podcast, "It really summarizes who I am as a person. My sense of humor, my confidence, my sexual empowerment for females. I didn't know what to expect from Matt when I did my little stunt, but he laughed. And I just felt like this was a huge weight lifted off me after that." Now, throughout her time on The Bachelor, Katie was one of the only ones to call out the bullying and the mean girl mentality in the house. When Serena C felt she wasn't there for the right reasons, Katie stood up for herself and said she cannot reason with crazy.
There's some pretty bad rumors that are starting about the new girls that literally could ruin their lives.
Now, Katie has a steady job as a bank marketing manager. However, she doesn't rely on work to feel fulfilled. Back in January, she wrote on Instagram, "Life really does pass by quickly. I follow the rules of life. Get the career, save the money, start the 401k, buy the house. And for what? An entire decade to pass without feeling fulfilled? This past year, I finally unapologetically loved who I am. I lost people along the way, and that's okay." Well, Katie's Bachelor bio makes it very clear that she will not settle for less than she's worth. In her bio, it states Katie knows exactly what she wants in a man and is done wasting her time on boys who won't live up to her expectations. They added that the Washington native is looking for a mature man who has ambition to succeed in everything he does, both personally and professionally.
Yeah, you start painting your future only for it to be erased.
Well, Katie often posts with her cat, Tommy, on Instagram, and according to her Bachelor bio, once planned a dog flash mob that got a huge turnout. I'm ready. Here we go.
Yeah, and I think you bring up a good point because we've obviously hyped this up so much and we're so like, is she going to be a good Bachelorette? Is she not? I always go back to trust the team at the ABC. They know what they're doing. They picked her, I think, very early into her journey. Obviously, she wasn't a finalist. And I think people are really excited for Michelle, which is great. So maybe because people aren't over the moon for Katie. Like the expectation, it might be a little lower, and then not in a bad way, but just in a like, oh, I'm not sure what the season's going to be, and then she'll blow us away. You know?
I totally agree with you. And that kind of happened to me with Hannah Brown because, you know, she wasn't top 3 and we're like, oh, why would they go like all the way? I forget what place she finished in, but why would they go all the way back to her? And she ended up being one of the best bachelorettes in my opinion. So who knows? They, like you said, they know what they're doing. They know that she's going to make for good TV. So I can't wait to see.
That is such a good call with Hannah Brown. I also was not excited for her. I mean, on like Colton's season, she could barely form a sentence for the first half of the season. It's like, how are we giving this girl the roses? But she ended up being such a badass, strong bachelorette with great guys and good drama and like love stories. That was one of the best seasons in the last years, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
Katie is, of course, teasing her season and starting the promos, which is always exciting. And she wrote on Instagram, as I reminisce about my journey to find love, I can't help but get in all my feels. You are about to meet an incredible group of men with fascinating stories to tell. The vulnerability and strength these men show throughout our time together is something I'll cherish. They all hold a special place in my heart. That being said, I'm protective of them. I remember being on their side of the journey, being in the public eye for the first time, reading what people thought. Remember to be kind in this. You'll only see a glimpse of how extraordinary they really are. I can't wait for you to meet them. So she's already being like, please don't cyberbully my cast, which is very nice of her.
It is very nice of her. And like she said, she knows what it's like to be in their shoes. She knows what it's like to be bullied and to have that bullying environment because she was the one to call it all out on her season. So she's already saying like, all right, I'm protective of these guys. You're probably not going to like what some of them are going to do, but be kind and give them a little grace.
Which is a message. I think something Katie is great at, and we've seen already with that, with everything she did on Matt's season, plus with everything that happened with Chris Harrison, she was kind of tweeting about it, and there was rumors that she was the one who really wanted not him to be on the season. We don't know if that's true, but also now it kind of goes to show that she is excited to be a part of this, but she wants it done her way. She doesn't want to like contribute to the negative social media part of the show or the social media backlash and all of the drama that surrounds it. And I think that says a lot about who she is as a person, which probably means she's a very good person. Sometimes doesn't work on the show, but sometimes it does. So I'm excited.
I'm excited too. So a little background on this season. It premieres, like we said, on June 7th, was filmed solely at a resort in New Mexico, and filming wrapped ahead of schedule on April 26th. And we learned that it wrapped ahead of schedule because, like we said, she pretty much knew exactly what she wanted, right?
Yeah, sources told us that Katie was very much in control of the season. I don't think she was afraid to make a few cuts. And it checks out for what we've been seeing the last couple of years. I mean, obviously, Claire is the extreme example, and I don't think we have that happening. But even on like Colton's season with the jumping of the fence, that was early. And I feel like a lot of the last couple, we haven't had a traditional ending with the proposal or with going through every week. Like there's been a lot of early cuts or canceling of rose ceremonies. And I think that's going to continue with Katie, which maybe got them ahead of schedule.
I think so. She's going to like clear house if like somebody's not there for the right reasons or anything like that. You know, she's kind of in control. And obviously we have Tayshia and Kaitlyn coming in this season. Kaitlyn said that this was the most dramatic season ever, taking the words right out of Chris Harrison's mouth. But I mean, it could be, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny to hear them say that in the promo, saying let the journey begin, but I'm excited to have a little bit of something different to look forward to. I know there are a lot of people who are skeptical and are going to miss Chris Harrison, and we even heard on the set, you know, it was different. It was a learning curve. It took them a minute to get their grounds, which makes sense. I mean, this was a well-oiled machine, and this is the first change they've had. I mean, first it was doing in one setting, which they've kind of nailed now, and I'm excited to see this New Mexico setting, a little something different compared to the last two, especially Pennsylvania, and obviously Tayshia and Kaitlyn. And I recently caught up with Kaitlyn's fiance, Jason Tartick. He was on the Here for the Right Reasons podcast, and he told me to get excited. He was very fired up about what he saw on set. So listen to what Jason told me about Tayshia and Kaitlyn.
You know, here's what I can say is that I got to go to New Mexico for a period of time, and I had the pleasure of seeing Kaitlyn and Tayshia's dynamic all behind the scenes when we would grab, you know, lunch or drink or anything like that. And their chemistry is absolutely fire. Like, they have such good chemistry together. I think they balance each other so well. They're both, you walk into a room with those two, even if it's just like a lunchroom behind the scenes, and the energy is just electric. So I have a feeling that they're going to bring such a cool component to this show that no one has seen before, That is my guess. I'm looking forward to seeing how it all turns out. But the Kaitlyn Tayshia chemistry and the energy and dynamic is something like I've never seen before. And that was just behind the scenes when they were having like fun in the hotel room or the area we could eat, stuff like that. So I can't even imagine what it was like for the good energy while it was filming, but I'm excited to watch it back.
Well, if anybody knows best, it's going to be Jason.
He seemed like he was still running on the excitement of all the energy, the electricity he kept teasing. So I don't know. I think it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. And what I'm really interested to hear about is how everyone feels watching it. Yeah. Because we're a nation who's not great with change all the time, including Bachelor Nation and in America. So I'm very interested to see how people are going to react to it. Do you think they're going to mention Chris Harrison at all, or just not even bring it up?
I don't know. I feel like we've talked about this before, and I think if they don't bring it up, it's like this elephant in the room where it's like hanging over their heads. I feel like they have to mention it at least in the beginning. They have said that they're not taking over hosting duties. They're there as more as mentors. So that'll be interesting to see how that kind of changes. Like if they're going to have like a gossip session after every single date or something like that. So I don't know if maybe they'll be in there for rose ceremonies. I don't know, but I do feel like they have to address it. Don't you?
I can't decide. Okay, so I was watching old seasons on Netflix last year, and they used to have this thing called the Deliberation Room, where Chris Harrison would like look at all the pictures with the guys, and they would like talk about it, like with Jason Mesnick. He was like, "How do you feel about this one?" And he was like, and I was like, "This is kind of fun, like a little bit almost like an MTV show, like behind the scenes." And so I could see them bringing something like that back with the girls to get them more involved. With Chris Harrison, part of me says no, just because it's so awkward that they went this long without addressing it. And like, what are they going to say? But then I could maybe just hear them, like, if he did the voiceovers for After the Final Rose. So then I get confused. So what if he's like Big Brother somehow like involved? I don't know.
That's such a good point. Yeah, he definitely did the voiceovers, which was so weird because you're not involved in it at all. It is. I don't know. Like you said, I can kind of see it either way. It seems weird if they do, seems weird if they don't, I guess.
Yeah, and like you said, they made a very clear point to point out that they are mentors and like guiding Katie. They never called them hosts in any press release. The media is calling them that because I don't know what the word is for it. Spiritual guide, I don't know. So they did make a point to say that. So maybe they'll bring up like, we don't have a host this time. Katie just needed some help. Like, I don't know. But either way, it's kind of like on Housewives when they like pretend they planned the trip. Like it's going to be like this pretend like they flew in Tayshia and Kaitlyn, not that it was like planned. You know what I mean?
Totally. But yeah, who knows? We don't know. We have no idea when and if Chris Harrison will be back. You know, they're supposed to start filming Bachelor in Paradise pretty soon, I would imagine. So I no word if he's going to be heading down to Mexico, and no word if he will be back for the Bachelorette for Michelle's season. But I think if Tayshia, and people have really responded well to Tayshia and Kaitlyn, I feel like they'll probably do that again.
Yeah, or even just like pick other rotating leads and stuff, especially in Paradise. You really don't need a host in Paradise. So my gut tells me they're going to get through Paradise and then reevaluate at Michelle's season.
I think so too. All right, well, let's move on to our cringe of the week. And we've already gotten a little bit of a sneak peek at what some of the men are going to do at during night one to get Katie's attention. We've seen a couple people, not too much, but was there anybody that stood out to you?
I mean, the costumes are always hard for me because it is like a way to be remembered. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you look back and you think people that become your favorites were the ones wearing the costumes. And you're like, oh,
so
really?
True.
Which is like, sometimes, look, I even was looking back and thinking about like cringy entrances over the year. And you think about like Becca Kufrin did like the fake proposal thing with Ari, which is cringy now because of everything that happened, but it was also kind of cringy at the time. Like, I don't like when they get like I don't like the wedding dresses. I don't like the fake proposal. I think that's weird just because it's too real.
Right. Well, remember Claire with the fake baby bump with Juan Pablo?
Sometimes they become like beloved figures, and at the first time you see them, you're like, what are they doing?
Yeah, JoJo wore that unicorn head on Ben's season, and remember Adam with
the doll?
The doll. So weird.
Weird, which makes me think there was someone with a blow-up doll in this season, which is like, of course, because they're making Katie this like sex-positive vibrator bachelorette, which is great, but already getting on my nerves the way they always overdo the shtick. Like one of her promos that just came out, it's like, this is something Katie always has with her, and it's like vibrating behind her back, and of course you think they're making a vibrator joke, and then she pulls it out and it's her cell phone. It's like, I don't know if we need that.
I don't know, and I feel like they're gonna make that joke like 900 times during the premiere episode. Yeah, so get ready for it.
Peter and the windmill. Peter had a girl bring condoms. Like, I guess it's good to lean into like their shtick, or I'm sure that's like what producers say if you have nothing else. But like that always kind of rubs me the wrong way. They're like a little too cheesy. And the person dressed up as the cat, I'm like, Katie's probably gonna like that because she's a cat girl, and I like cats. But a guy dressed up as a cat's not really gonna do it for me.
Not gonna do it for me. But of course, we're gonna recap every single entrance, every weird entrance, every romantic entrance. Of course, next week when the show premieres. But moving on to our Where Are They Now segment, and it's finally confirmed in that latest promo that Blake Moynes returns to find love on this season of The Bachelorette.
That's right. He's doing the Say Anything, John Cusack, which is pretty cute. I got to give it to Blake Moynes. I didn't recently. I caught up with him back in December when he had just been eliminated from Tayshia/Claire's season. And he was telling us how he got not only heartbroken by Claire, but also by Tayshia. And he was kind of in a wild state of mind. So let's look back at Blake after his first stint on The Bachelorette. How quickly did you kind of start to get over Tayshia? Are you over Tayshia? Did you get the closure you needed? Like, where are you now?
Yeah, so right when I first got back, I was really annoyed. Not annoyed, frustrated. I was frustrated because, and it sucks because the connection that we had came on like the last day I was there. So it was so fresh. So like I felt like we made such a stride and it was like shut down. But I still was hanging on to that day just because we blamed it on time. I wish she just would have said, "You're not the one for me. There's other connections here. I don't see us being a thing." Instead, it was like we ran out of time. The connection came too late. And so, yeah, I got home and I was like thinking about like what ifs, the potential, imagine, and I had little gifts from our dates, because some of those crystals from our date and some other things along the way. I made a bucket list for her and things that I have on my dresser. And now I've put them and tucked them away because I just don't want to think about it anymore. But yeah, you just naturally think about the what ifs, and you're always going to until you get closure. And that's why I asked the questions I kind of did at the Men Tell All, and I wanted her to kind of give me the answer of, "You're not the one for me. It wasn't just time." I didn't really fully get that, but I've moved past it now. I think she's happy where she's at, and things play out the way they should, and I'll believe in that.
Poor Blake. He really went through it.
I mean, it is one of those things. I talked to Bennett obviously recently, and he was saying how, I asked him about what it was like to come back for Tayshia and how he, declared his love. And he definitely got like in his feels a little bit talking about it. And you always think like it's been a long time, maybe they're going to shake that. But some of these guys or girls really do fall, whatever you want to say. Like it works for them to some degree. And I think it takes them a minute to shake it. And it certainly took Blake a minute, but obviously he thinks him and Katie are some sort of match. Do you think they're a good match?
I don't know. I mean, Blake wasn't my favorite contestant on last season, so I don't know if I'm necessarily excited for him to try to find love again. Maybe there was something I'm missing, and hopefully he'll show it to us this season. But I don't know if he was the one that I felt like was most deserving to come back. I don't know. I thought maybe he'd be in paradise.
I agree. I mean, it's always interesting when you have one of those contestants come back, like a Becca Tilley for Ben Higgins, because they want, or like Nick Viall for Kaitlyn, like they usually go pretty far because they are there for that person and they know what it's like to potentially risk the humiliation or the backlash or the drama, and like they want to do it again. And if you want followers, just go on Paradise. Like you're going to get more heat potentially for just showing up and crashing a season. Like I think it's a bigger risk personally. And you also have to very much be interested in this person because they can call you out if you're there for clout much quicker because you've already done the show.
Totally.
So I'm for it if he really feels like he has some connection to Katie. But yeah, I mean, I remember like Ben and Ivan, like they had some gems at the end of last season, and like this wasn't it.
It wasn't it for me. It really wasn't. And he felt like he had like this great connection with Tayshia after like one date together. And it's like, no. But you were just crying about Claire like the episode before. So I don't know. I feel like kind of what you said, that maybe he just wants to be there for clout and followers, but I could be totally wrong, and I hope that I am.
You know what will be interesting? If there's any discussion or if we find out if they've talked it all beforehand, not even like a forming a relationship way, but just in the casual Bachelor, people slide into other's DMs all the time. Blake was obviously an established Bachelor person since like last October. He made his debut. Mm-hmm. Katie was on since January. There's a lot of time there for them to have communicated even in a friendly way. And that's usually a sign like that would be like Nick Viall and Kaitlyn and Ben and Becca like talked a little bit beforehand. And it's like, I'm going to go be on the show. Like you have to show up if you want a chance. So that I would welcome just for the drama, because I like when we find out things that happened in between seasons.
Totally. Well, we are going to get all of our answers very, very soon, because like we said, The Bachelorette premieres on June 7th. We're going to be recapping it all season long. So make sure to check back with Us Weekly's YouTube channel every Tuesday afternoon for your Bachelor recap. Listen to Sarah's podcast, Here for the Right Reasons. Keep commenting. commenting, keep subscribing, and Sarah and I will see you next week. Thanks, Sarah.
Bye.
Bye.